Okay, so the craziest thing is happening right now on Twitch. See if you can follow this one. Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Izzy Nobry, and this is the Izzy Nobry Show. So let me see if I can break this down. There's a well-known Twitch streamer by the name of Aragate. Maybe you watch her streams. Here's what happened. One day, out of nowhere, Aragate was gone. So when her channel came back on, instead of seeing Aragate, we're treated to this new awkward chick that nobody really knows.
Okay. Just first and foremost, Ara is alive and well. And sorry, I'm not the original Ara. Well, she just decided to take a different track in her life. So it will be me and then my friends streaming on Ara Gaming. I just wanted to talk to all of you because I know you've been waiting for a while. She'll no longer be streaming online.
So the chat is going crazy. Everybody's asking, who are you? Where is Ara? And this new awkward chick refuses to give a straight answer. She hints at legal issues preventing her from explaining fully what's going on. She says Ara decided to go in a different direction. She was just not super clear on what's going on. She clearly had not been briefed on what to say to Ara's viewers. It was just very confusing. A lot of people thought, I thought it was some kind of master troll. Like Ara's just gonna randomly pop out from the back saying, "Ha! Got him!" So the story starts trickling out that apparently Ara, who went through a divorce proceeding recently, lost her Twitch channel and her social media accounts to her ex-husband. The ex-husband, now in control of the channel, decided to carry on with the brand, replacing Ara with this new awkward chick, who, from what I read, is his cousin or something? Then, to make matters worse, the ex-husband jumped in on the chat, or somebody pretending to be the ex-husband, although I find that a little unlikely because he seemed to have a pretty good grasp on the situation. It didn't come across as somebody just making up shit on the spot. It seemed like he really knew the details of what was going on. Not to mention, he has mod status in the chat room, so obviously he has access to whoever is controlling the stream. So yeah, the ex-husband then elaborates that on top of having lost her channel, her Twitter account, basically her whole social media, her audience, by default, she won't be able to stream for 5 years, and that's when people went a little bit crazy. How does that even work? Your former lover can just jack your shit like that? I mean, tangible things, a car, a house, we're familiar with that. But social media accounts, that's how it works now. Can you even do that? Is that legal? So what? Now your boring Instagram pictures of Starbucks cups are just one bang of the gavel away from being awarded to your douchey ex? As somebody who's both married and has a social media presence, that kind of worries me. But going back to what I was saying before, how is that even legal? This is unprecedented, I think. Can a judge really at the end of the divorce proceeding say, you know what, I will give her your Pinterest account? Is that how this happened? That's not quite what happened. I think this is what happened. So Ara and I was gonna say boyfriend, the husband, get a divorce, and I'm leaning to think that Ara was at fault at the end of the relationship here. Not because women, right? But because the way this is shaping up has the hallmark signs of somebody getting f***ed over in the divorce proceedings because they were in the wrong, which gave the husband leverage against her. Consider this. Let's assume that the couple built the channel together somehow. Maybe he bought the equipment and the computer and the video games, and she was doing the stream herself. So in this case, it's not like the channel is hers per se. She's more of an entertainer. She's a performer in someone else's channel, because if you're putting in all of the money and all the equipment, all the video games, you have a valid claim to ownership of that content. If my wife bought my camera and my computer and paid for my internet, she could claim that this channel is a part hers. So let's start with that. The husband may very well have a legitimate claim to this business venture of hers. And make no mistake, I know it's just yelling at the webcam and playing video games, but the moment revenue starts flowing in, it's a business venture. So here's a scenario, right? We were going with the assumption that the channel is kind of equal parts Ara's and husband's, because the husband injected some money into the whole thing in the beginning. Maybe he bought the camera, maybe whatever. He obviously has some claim of ownership to it, otherwise he wouldn't have been awarded the channel. Usually when you have one of those situations, like a couple buys a house together, a divorce happens, one tries to pay the other one out so that they can keep that asset. Usually whoever can't pay the other one out gets shafted. And that's likely what happened here. Era could not pay out her husband, so her husband paid her out and kept the channel. Now, a channel is pointless unless you decide to keep it working, keep the brand going. But you can't keep Era Gaming, the name of her channel, going if Era is just gonna set up shop in a news stream. So the husband then drafts a non-compete clause. That's where the "you can't stream for 5 years" comes in. A non-compete clause is a very common thing that high-level executives are made, I don't want to say forced, but they're pushed to sign when they're leaving a corporation. They're paid out for their time, and in exchange for that, they sign here, 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 initial here, their date here, stamp, and that as a way to promise that they're not going to take the skills and the assets they develop while working at that company A to then work for company B or set up their own company B that's going to compete with company A. Are you understanding this? It's not like a divorce judge said, and you can't stream for 5 years. It's all his. That's not really what happened. It was a mutual agreement between the two of them. Now here's the question. Why would she sign this? If the dispute was simply, I put this much into the business, you put this much into the business, we gotta split this up equally. Well, you can't pay me out, I'll pay you out, I'll keep the channel, and we shake hands and we each go our own separate way. Usually that's how these disputes go. But he went one step further in getting her to sign a non-compete clause so that she will not steal back her audience if she starts a new channel. I understand why the husband would want her to sign that. I can't understand why she would sign that. And then we're back at that theory that she must have done something wrong that gave him the leverage to pull all these moves. What did she do? I have no idea, and honestly, I don't care. That's two people's private business. I'm not trying to point fingers and to say that one was in the right and one is in the wrong. This is not what this is about. Now, Twitch may be in some trouble if you think about it. First of all, transferring a channel from one person to another is in direct violation of the Twitch terms of service. You just flat out cannot do that. And when you consider that there's more than a handful of people who subscribe to Era's channel, and the subscription service, if you think about it, hinges on the promise that that channel is always going to belong to this person. So feel free to give your money to this person. It's always this person who's gonna get that money. But now all of a sudden, it's not that person anymore. It's this person. And we're doing this against our own terms of service. You can see how people who subscribe to Era might feel a little bit slighted, might even ask for refunds. And that's the situation. Twitch may lose some gaming street cred at best for letting this happen, and they may be setting themselves up for a class action lawsuit at worst for letting this happen. Because if I were Era's subscriber and all of a sudden some new awkward chick is getting the money that I pledged towards Era, and I don't even know when exactly the switchover happened, so for all I know a few months of money already went to somebody else, I would not be okay with that. Twitch is going to have to step up here. I was surprised last night when the husband reached out to me. I was tweeting at some people using the hashtag aragate, trying to discuss with people who were engaged with the situation, trying to figure out what was going on, and then the husband actually added me and he asked if I was interested in an interview, and I did a brief interview with the guy. I was trying to get to the bottom of the situation, ask him some of the questions that were the ones that we were more confused about, and what struck me as odd, of course he couldn't say too much because there's a whole legal thing going on, and I understood, but he said, and it struck me as odd, that it was her move to put the channel on the table. He was not going for the channel, apparently. The husband and his lawyer were surprised by this development, but that's what she offered. So yeah, while he said that I was right in that there was some wrongdoings that put her at a tough spot, legally speaking, he did not use any leverage against her. She kind of gave that up willingly. I asked if he thinks that Twitch is not going to side with him on this transfer, being that it goes against their terms of service and everything, and he thinks that they're going to change it enough to allow for these things to happen in the future. Personally, I think he might be disappointed. I doubt Twitch is going to change the terms of service to benefit this one specific transaction over the people who believe the terms of service, who trust that channels are not transferable to engage in subscribing to somebody's content. But we'll see how this shakes up. What do you think about the situation? Where is Era? Husband told me that he did not bar her from speaking with social media. She had to give up the channels she already had, the Twitter and Twitch and everything, but she could start a new one and talk to people, give people her version of the story, but she has seemed to not want to do that. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, what do you think about the situation? This is complicated stuff. Leave comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of what goes on here, and that's all the time I have for today. I'm Izzy, and I'm done.
Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like these too.